G'day folks, my name's Simon. I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. This channel is all about motorcycles, adventure, camping and touring, or as I like to call it, Mad Cat. I'm on my Rise of the Phoenix tour right at the moment, and I'm in Castlemaine in Victoria. I'm heading across to Ballarat today, right now. Should take me about an hour, give or take a couple of minutes, and I'm going to visit the Eureka Stockade. Won't be able to stop in for too long there, unfortunately. I'm then going to visit my auntie if she's at home, because she lives near to there, and then I'm heading down to Geelong to visit one of my cousins. Then after that, I'll stop there overnight, and after I visited my cousin, it's time for me to head northbound again, unfortunately. Because I do have to be back in Newcastle on the 8th of the month so that I can get the bike serviced. It's booked in for its 12,000 kilometre service. We're currently at 9,492 kilometres. I would say we'll be pretty close to 11,000 by the time I get there, so that's good enough. But unfortunately, after I've been to Newcastle, it's then time for me to head back to home and go back to work for a living so I can pay for some of the things I've done on this trip. So I've had a good couple of nights here, got to catch up with one of my cousins, and that was really nice, really fun and enjoyable. The one thing that I have picked up from this trip, however, is that time flies really quickly. You stop somewhere and then you end up stopping there for 2 days or possibly even 3, as I did with Thredbo and as I did with Glenrowan. And because you do that, then you have to miss out on other things. But that's absolutely fine. I will be back. I will be doing this again. I'm already planning for my next month off, basically. So it is quite funny when you are out travelling for a long period of time, just how easily time slips away. Of course, the start of my journey was held up by the rain. I left Grafton 6 days late, and then of course I got stuck for 9 days in Newcastle because of the weather. And it really wasn't suitable driving weather or riding weather, so in fact it was not suitable driving weather either. So it's a sad thing that I lost 2 weeks due to the weather, which does mean that things have had to have been condensed a little bit. I did want to be able to ride along the Great Ocean Road, which is between Warrnambool and Anglesea along the south coast of Victoria. Apparently it's an absolutely gorgeous area and one of the favourites for motorcyclists to do. But that's okay, because next time I come down I will be going to do that. Guildford Family Hotel. Welcome to Guildford, Victoria, as opposed to Guildford in the UK. So just coming into Daylesford, Victoria. And we're turning right to head towards Ballarat. Ballarat's another town that I could probably spend 2 or 3 days exploring, to be honest. Just a shame that I don't have that sort of time at the moment available, as much as I'd like to. Look at that beautiful old pub, 1857. The Farmers Arms Hotel. Just do a U-turn right in front of me. Good on ya. There's some beautiful little buildings here. Lovely old places. Wombat Hill Nursery and Florist. Oh, look at that beautiful old building too. Lovely. Oh. I don't know what this car in front of me is doing. Some gorgeous buildings though, so it gives me a chance to slow down and look. Daylesford Hotel. There's an awful lot of pubs in these small country towns. No pandemics here, is there? Wow. People who don't know how to drive around roundabouts, gotta love that. Beautiful looking at the trees with the leaves changing colour. Still can't remember what, liquid ambers, that's what they are, liquid amber trees. Suddenly popped into my head. Beautiful. 44 kilometres to Ballarat. So I'd like to go up and look at all these historical markers and so on that are around. But now I'm really getting quite conscious of the lack of time that I have. And I would say that the thing that I've mostly picked up from this trip is that there are so many things to see and do as you travel around. I mean, I know full well that when I go international, it's going to be even worse. You know, I'll be off in some part of the world that I've never been in before, and I want to poke around everything that I can, have a look. I mean, I full well expect that my trip to travel around the world by motorbike could be a 4 or 5 year venture, really. So now we've gotten to the part of Victoria where you start seeing crops being grown. And all these fields out here. And sheep. Lots of sheep. Still passing through these beautiful little villages where they've got lovely old churches and stuff like that here. It's really pretty. Lovely area. The other thing that I find out here as well is that there's quite a lot of abandoned houses, which means urbex-wise I could have a great time going out and exploring. There was a little farmhouse a couple of kilometres back that looked really good. Lovely old building. I'm now 15 minutes out from Ballarat, or from the Eureka Stockade. So I also thought it might be worthwhile my talking about these Motoz Tractionator GPS tyres again now, because now that they've had some time to bed in, and particularly the front one lose its silicone slick coating that they put on them, they seem to be a lot better. The front one still grabs into the road a little bit strangely. They're quite good on dirt though. But the back one I've certainly got no complaints whatsoever about. The Motoz Tractionator GPS tyre seems to be wearing quite well. It's now done about 4,000 kilometres since it was put on, and it's not showing any real signs of wear at all. which is absolutely fantastic. Whereas the original tyres that were on the bike lasted 6,000 kilometres and they had to be replaced. And the front tyre now has done just slightly less than the rear one, and it's certainly wearing okay as well. I mean, time will tell over a bit more time whether or not they're going to basically stand the longevity test, really. Particularly the rear tyre with the bike loaded up with a fair bit of weight on it, and doing straight roads like this, whether or not that centre strip through it actually withstands this for long distance travel is actually going to make a massive difference to whether or not I try putting these tyres on the bike again. I'm hoping that they will. There's good reports that they'll do up to 20,000 kilometres with mixed riding of some gravel roads and a lot more tarmac. So fingers crossed they'll actually do the job quite nicely, because to be honest, when I start doing a lot of long distance travel, I don't want to have to be buying tyres, you know, every 2 or 3 months, because that's a lot of money and I won't have that sort of money available to just keep doing it. Okay, they're going to wait for me. Thank you. Straight across. So a lot of these towns that are in rural Victoria are all gold rush towns, awful lot of them, which is why they've got quite a lot of pubs and surprisingly a lot of churches, probably because they had to go and pay their penance for drinking so much. Interesting concept, really. Go out and drink and swear and cuss and all of that sort of stuff, and then go and pay your penance on a Sunday and then do it all again on Monday. So as you can see, flying from the flagstaff up there is the Eureka Flag, which is the 5 stars of the Southern Cross with a white line in between each of the stars. As it says on the side of the building there, home of the Eureka Flag. So I'm standing at the Eureka Centre in Ballarat, and this is where the Eureka Rebellion was held. And on the 3rd of December 1854, the gold miners in the area around here rebelled against the colonial authorities, in part due to heavy taxation on their, or heavy licensing fees on their gold mining licenses. Over the period of the rebellion, 27 people were killed. Most of them were the rebels. However, that's all happened in this location here, which they've now turned into a museum. And as you can see, the Eureka flag flying from the flag poles here, particularly that one up there, the huge flag. So the Eureka Stockade is a pivotal moment in the history of this nation, the Eureka Rebellion, and it changed this nation quite dramatically. There's been a lot of little rebellions in the history of this nation, such as the Rum Rebellion in Sydney, but I'll go into that another day when I can actually go to the location of that sort of thing as well. Anyway, I just thought I'd have a bit of a quick look here and see where all of this happened. They put a great big centre here. I'm not going to go into it because I don't really have, sadly, a lot of time, but I will be back here and I will go inside there. And at that point, hopefully I'll get the opportunity to be able to film everything for you guys. But I'll put a link to the Wikipedia page that's about the Eureka Rebellion so that you can check it out. Anyway guys, it's time for me to go and see if I can find my auntie's place. Well guys, as much as I would love to be able to go into the Eureka Centre and have a look around and learn even more about the Eureka Rebellion, unfortunately time is getting tight for me. So I'm hitting the road again and heading down to my auntie's place. Going to have a cup of tea and catch up with my auntie, and then I can hit the road again and head down to visit my cousin down in Geelong. But my auntie is my mother's twin sister, and she's the only auntie I've got left now, so there was no way I wasn't going to call in and say hello. It's only a short time, but that's okay. She's given me lots of directions on how to get there that I've immediately forgotten. But that's alright because I've got sat nav.